Good day and welcome to your favorite sport program on TV, 360 Sport. And we all know that when it's time for 360 Sport, it's always an interesting moment on the show. We'll be hearing response and comment on our previous editions on the program, or how fantastic some of our guests have been, talking about dignitaries that have graced our sports show. I am Mudashiv Shitu. If this is the first time of being part of today's program, I'll be your anchor in the next 3 minutes as we look at another interesting moment on the show. This time around, we will not look at Nigeria's most popular sports. We will look at one sport that has been doing so well for itself. And beyond the sport, we're looking at two personalities that has made this sport what it is right now. And these are sisters. I'll be looking at Squatch, and I'll be talking to two sisters, Yemisi Olatunji and Busayo Olatunji. So it's good to have you wonderful sisters on the show.
Thank you, Mr. Shitu, for having us on the show.
So let me start. Okay, it's good to have you, Busayo. So let me start in no particular order. Let me start with Busayo. Busayo, just a few days ago, I think yesterday, you were given a recognition by the African Future Award for nominee. You're in the same list with Victor Osimhen and some other fantastic sports personality. Though you didn't win that, but I saw how the recognition came from somebody from a sports squatch that is still developing. So tell us how you felt about the award and the recognition, and how satisfied you are that you're on the same list with a great player like Victor Osimhen, who eventually won that.
Actually, it's an honor. What happened is, about some months ago, I got an email in my email, and the email was sent by the Future African Award. At the time, I didn't actually read the message because I wasn't expecting it. Then they send the message back to me again, and I have to click on the message and let me check. Then by the time I checked the message, I found that I was nominated for the award. I was like, is this real? So I called one of my friends to show him this thing, that, are you sure this is real? And the guy said, okay, let's go online, let's see. And I was so happy, I was so impressed. And by the time I got online, see that I was actually nominated alongside with Osimhen and some great athletes, and I was so happy, like, wow, to even get to this stage, it's an honor. So I was so happy. Eventually, I didn't win the category. Victor Osimhen win the category, but I was so happy because squash is not a popular sport. But I'm so happy that squash is now becoming so popular in this country.
Yeah, what can you say has led to this? What can you say had led to this particular moment?
I don't really know, but I think for so long now, I've been actually active. Like, I've been using my Instagram page very well, trying to like promote myself, promote squash. So I don't know people that nominated me. I don't know, but I think some people are somewhere that nominated me, and they actually find out about my achievements, and that's all I can say.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. And for me, I've been following Scotch for a lot of time, and this reminds me of some years ago. You Yemisi, when you won an award that I can't remember, Nigerian Sports Award. You won an award, and in that category, I could remember we have Auno Kodri, and I can't remember the other sport personalities there. I think a badminton player was also on that list. So tell us, and you won that category, and that's something that's done so well for you, because someone's coming from sport. Tell us, share that experience and how it was some years ago that you won the sport personality of the year in categories where we have Aruna Kodri and the great sport persons there.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Shitu, for asking that. 2018, I mean, it's part of the year that I can never forget in my entire career life, right? So in 2018, it was a friend of mine who actually sent me the link, and she's like, "Oh, I saw your name, people are nominating you online for the Racket Sports Person of the Year in 2018 at the Nigerian Sports Award. So I was like me, squash, how does that happen? Because I know that squash is not. As at that time, yeah, I feel like, yeah, squash is doing well, but it's not as popular as the rest of the racket sports, right? Like table tennis, like badminton, and even like tennis itself. And we just went straight into it. People started voting. To be very honest, when they sent me an email that, okay, I'm among the final nominees. After I don't know how many nominees we had, but I guess I was among the people who has a highest vote. I couldn't believe it, but I'm like, okay, this is happening. I wasn't thinking about winning, but I was excited and happy for squash and the squash community in general, because it's a landmark that people out there are watching what we are doing, our efforts, our achievements, and they can recognize that, oh, talent is coming out of this sport, despite the fact that the sport is not as big as other sports. And I remember vividly that night. Busayo was with me. Then Jadisola also was with me. We went to a hotel signature where the event was held. And I remember I was sitting, beside my friend, Odunayo.
Okay.
And Odu was like, oh, if you won this category, I'll be the first person to shout. We were just kind of making the jokes, right? Because I know we have, likes of Aruno, Edward, I can't remember,
Okay.
our last and some other great athletes as well. So, of course, to have Uncle Aruno, in the
Sure.
category, I know
Yeah.
he had really done well, in Nigeria, in Africa, in the world. So I'm happy, I'm excited to be along, to be part of the people that are nominated in that category. And when they started, the racket sports person,
Your name was
our
mentioned.
time, yeah, they just, of course, they're going to read like a biography or achievement of every other player, and the winner is Yemisi. I couldn't believe it. Odu jumped up, my friend, she jumped up and she screamed. That was how the cameraman knew that, okay, I think the winner is somewhere
Somewhere
around there.
there.
And
So,
camera was just,
okay.
so
Now,
just for me.
okay. Now,
But it
now
was,
let's now see this. We some weeks ago the IOC said that squash is going to be part of the Olympics, and this is something interesting, though not in Paris 2024. And we don't know what the African continent qualifier will look like before we get to that. But that news itself is excitement. And Busayo, I'm sure you've probably have heard, obviously, the news of squash going to be in Paris in 2028. And what's your plan? How excited are you? And are you going to do? What are you doing? What does that news bring to you?
Um, I'm so excited. I'm so happy because it's what we've been actually looking forward to for a very long time, that squash should be in the Olympics. Sometimes when I go out and people ask me that what sport are you in, and I said squash, they said what is squash? Is it in the Olympics? And sometimes I would feel so relieved to say that okay, it's not in the Olympics. But now I'm so happy that I can proudly say that squash is in the Olympic. Like I'm so happy. Like I'm so happy, and I'm looking forward to myself to participate in things.
Okay, interesting. How about you, Yemisi? I know you're based in Canada and you're still practicing squash, you understand, in another international level. Um, Tell us, when you heard the news about squash being part of the Olympics, what does that remind you?
so basically for a couple of years now, I've been like doing a follow-up, campaigning. Every single time they ask us to campaign, for squash to get, involved in the Olympics. And this was is a dream come true, for all of us in the squash community. Seeing squash in the Olympics in 2028. And the truth of the matter is, I've actually been telling some of my friends who are close to me, like, I know that by 2028, maybe like 10 years ago, I was telling them, I said, 2028, I'm very sure squash will be in the Olympics. And some of them actually called me like, oh, Yemisi, we remember you always like, telling us this, right? I'm excited. I'm happy. It's a big win, and huge congratulations to all of us in the squash community. So basically, for me, seeing myself in the Olympics, of course, it's super. It's possible, of course, and I'm working towards it, either as an athlete or as a coach or as one of the main volunteer in the Olympics.
Okay.
In different ways, Olympic is available and sure.
Okay, presently, I'm sure before we get Yemisi Olatunji to come and participate in the tournament in Nigeria, it has to take a lot of millions of dollars to bring her down to Nigeria to come and participate. But before she left, we know that she had a landmark and everything about victories is all written everywhere. But how do you feel now that your sister is not playing squash in Nigeria? Is it a big relief to you that you're always going to win something? I'm not saying you don't win when she was playing, but what does it mean to you now that your sister is out of the country and you're still on top there and you have a Sophia also with you? But is it a big relief that, all those years it has always been Yemisi winning, I'm coming second, third. Most times when you participate, now that your sister is no longer in Nigeria, she's in Canada, what does this mean to you and your career?
Yeah. Okay, what I can say is fine. I'm so happy that my sister left this country because it's not easy to make it as a sports player in this country. So I'm so happy, firstly, and at the same time, I'm not happy because I wanted to beat her before she go. So
Okay.
I wanted to beat her before she go, but I couldn't do that. And at the same time, when she left, I missed that part of being by my side for like a year. I couldn't do that because she's my coach, and anytime I'm playing, she's the one tell me like what to do and you know thing to do right and thing that I'm doing wrong. But after she left for like a year plus, I couldn't get myself. I couldn't get what I was doing. But she kept calling me. She kept talking to me every time, even though I'm losing some tournaments. She still keep calling me that don't worry. I know because I left, you affected this and that. But she has actually been a great sister because it's not easy. After she left, I've let me say I've been lonely from my sport because nobody actually could tell me that this is what you're doing wrong. But she actually take that time. She gave me that time to be calling me every day, every time to tell me that okay, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, this is what you need to do, and up to this moment, she's still supporting me. About some months ago, I win a tournament, like two tournaments back to back. She told me like, okay, go and do this, go and do this. And after I won that two tournaments, she was so happy. I can even see it in her that, she was even happy more than me that I even won the tournament. So I know she's a great sister to me. Like she's so she's she's a great sister. That's all I can say.
Okay. Fine. Still on you, Busayo. I want to look at Squatch now. What's going on? What's the future like? Are you also going to follow the path of your sister for after some time to practice after the country? So, what's Scotch like in the country, and what's the future of Scotch? And how satisfied are you that yes, you're a Scotch player?
Okay. Right now in Nigeria, let's say thanks to Mr. Boye, the sports president, because there has been a lot of improvements in squash for the past 2 years or 3 years now because we have been playing tournaments back to back and getting PSA points. And but it's just that in time of sponsorship, we haven't gotten like a very good sponsor because to be in the world, you have to have a lot of sponsorship for them to sponsor you out to play tournaments and everything. But I'm looking forward to meet my sister very soon because I want to play professional like before I retire. So
Okay.
I'm looking forward to meet my sister very soon.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. So now you've seen both worlds, Yemisi. You've seen Scotch player as a Nigerian. You're still a Nigerian, but you've seen different worlds as a Scotch player in Canada and in Nigeria. What's the big difference between being a Scotch player in Nigeria and being a Scotch player in Canada?
So how would I put this? So a buttress, or it comes in different categories, right? But I'll just like do like a touch base on some important ones. So to me, I would say there is no huge gap or that long distance or a very huge difference between the squash player in Nigeria and the squash player, here in Canada, basically in Western world, right? But the little differences is that, of course, in terms of support, in terms of having a proper coach who has that um, 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 knowledge about the skill, the tactic aspect of squash, which is important. And like I've said, I've talked about support, then having that a facility which is accessible
Okay.
to every area so that people could, you don't have to move for all the way from Surulere to go hit at Ikoyi Club, because when I was in Nigeria, that is what I do. I live in Surulere and my training center is at Ikoyi Club. But the Western world is not like that. They make all this facility accessible to people depending on their areas, right? And I'll talk about sponsorship. you know, um, the government kind of support, individual, the support, the parents, the lover of the game, right? The support. Then I'll just touch bit briefly on, the technical aspects between
Okay.
the two countries player. So here they have what they call like a long time athlete development program
Okay.
from different ages. They have a different skill that they should be able to learn. At a
Okay.
certain age, they have a skill
Mm.
that they should be able to play.
Mm.
But back home, we don't have that type of program. We don't have that type of things or
Support. Yeah.
platform in place for the player to know that, okay, at this certain age, these are the things you're supposed to do. When you get to the certain level, this is the next program for yourself, right? And those are like the little differences about what makes a Nigerian squash player and the Western world squash player. But in
Yeah.
terms of the physique, squash has we have a talented and amazing players. I can tell because, as you have said, I've seen both the two worlds. I know how it feels, right? In Nigeria, I can tell you, if we bring some of our Nigerian players down here, I can say in maybe in 6 to 1 year, we'll be doing great. And that's the reason why that is today, some of our athletes, squash players who have left Nigeria down to the Western world, they are still playing the game
Mm.
and they're still representing well.
Okay.
Even some is now, I have a brother who is now representing the British.
Okay.
He lives in London and is playing really well.
Mm.
So what am I saying? We have the age as an advantage, we have the gene as an advantage, we're stronger, we have that ability to think fast, even to execute or to excel under pressure,
Okay.
which are like the things that make us more different compared to what is happening here.
The
So I
Western
think
one. Yeah.
we really need to support you. We're great.
Okay. Yeah. I still have you. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be having more stories to talk about. If you're just joining us, we'll be speaking with the Olatunji sisters, one of the most popular families in the world of sport in Nigeria, and they've been giving the life and everything to squash. So we've been talking about them. One is based in Canada and the other one is still with us here in Nigeria. So we'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we still have more explosive to talk about. Yes, yeah, welcome back. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about squash, one of the most popular developing sports in Nigeria. We've spoken about two sisters that have been making the flag of squash flying for a very long time. So, as we wrap up the show, I'll go to you, Busayo. Busayo, we were not able to get so much about the National Sport Festival in Asaba, and I'm sure you are in Asaba, and that is one festival for a long time without your sister. Tell us what happened at the Scotch tournament in Asaba for people to really know what happened in Asaba as regards to the medal you won in Asaba.
Okay. For the Asaba tournament, I have one gold and three silver because I played 4 categories. I played the singles, the team, doubles, and singles. So in singles, I got silver. Then in doubles, I got silver. Mixed doubles, I got gold, and team, I got silver. So what really happened is before the festival, about like 4 days or 4 days or 5 days to the festival, I was actually very very sick,
Okay.
and I was to the extent of I was hospitalized because they even think I will not be playing the festival. But after like 2 days to go, I had to stand up that I want to play this festival because I actually left home. Then I have to deliver what I'm here for. So I think I'm not mentally stable
At that
because
moment,
before that time, yeah, at that moment, because before that time, we traveled out to Zimbabwe,
okay,
and we had a lot of stress and issues. Then we come back, we went to Port Harcourt. In fact, for the Port Harcourt tournament, I lost at the final. That I
okay,
was even vomiting. I could not even get myself.
okay,
Then it was from Port Harcourt that I left for Delta. So I was actually worn out. I was so tired, but I had to just go to that festival because I don't want to miss it.
okay.
So, but I thank God at the end of the day, I
You
try
got
my best. I try my best, and
yeah. Fine. Sit
God
on you,
like that.
Busayo. What is your plan for the future? What are you doing? What's your plan to conquer? Let me use that word, or to conquer the way your sister actually did while she was playing in Nigeria. But what are your plan for the future? Because a lot of people are watching, and they want to know how to be an amazing talent like you are too. So tell us the plan for the future and what really brought you down here. What are the things you've been doing that made you Busayo or Latunji?
Okay, my plan for the future. I really want to play professionally. Like I really want to play professionally. I want to be among the let me say top 30, top 40 in the world. That is what I'm planning, and my sister is actually trying her best, to make me be in that position. And still here in Nigeria is that's what I actually said that time, that it's very very hard for us to get a sponsor. As of January, I was in 149 in the world.
Okay.
Then by this now right now I've already dropped back. I'm at 185
Mm.
because I'm not going out for tournaments. So I hope I'll be able to get a sponsor because
Okay.
I really want to play professionally in the
Okay.
future. I
Thank you.
really want to
Thank you very
professionally.
much. Lastly, which is going to be the last question on the show, and that has to do with Yemisi. In few words, time is no longer our friend. Tell us what's the future for you now that you're over there. In few words, as we round up the show.
Yeah. So basically being here in Canada is not for me only. I'm here to be able to say how I can help. That's like the main primary goal, how I can help, our Nigerian squash players back home and still be of a valuable use to the, squash community in Canada. I'll keep trying my best to support squash to, to impact as many people as possible.
Okay. Thank you very much, the Olatunji sisters. Thank you very much, Yemisi Olatunji. Thank you very much, Busayo Olatunji, for being part of today's program.
Thank you, Mr. Shitu, for having us on the show.
That's all we could take on today's show. It's been a big moment on the show today, talking with the Olatunji sisters and looking into squash. My name is Mudashiru Shitu. Same time next week, we'll be giving you all what you need to know in the world of sport. Bye for now.